the OSMA Filter Crossover Alert Indicator, which is offered for various platforms on the TradingFinder website. From this section, you can download the indicator file for MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 platforms, download it and run it on your chart. Additionally, traders can visit this page to learn how the indicator works and operates. They can refer to this page for more information about the indicator. From the navigator section, we select the indicator file, and by dragging the file onto the chart, we run the indicator. Once the indicator is placed on the chart, it starts displaying signals on the price chart. Traders can use these trading signals to enter buy or sell trades in the market. The way the indicator works is based on the crossover of two moving averages, and when the crossovers are upward, it gives a buy signal. When the crossovers are downward, a sell signal is generated. Additionally, the indicator has a feature that allows us to filter the signals. This helps to prevent signals with noise and lower reliability. Only the signals with higher reliability are displayed on the chart. For better understanding, here I will just show it directly on the chart for you. And also, I will add a very important and widely used MACD indicator to the chart as well, which is a powerful technical analysis tool. When the fast-moving average, which is typically represented by the red line, crosses above the slower-moving average, a clear and strong buy signal is generated, indicating a potential upward price movement. And conversely, when the fast-moving average crosses below the slow-moving average, a sell signal is generated, suggesting a potential downward price movement. This indicator is crucial for identifying trend changes and momentum. Sell signals are generated on the chart. But by enabling the filter option, we can also use the MACD values as a signal and to filter the signals. We can make use of this so that only the signals with high reliability are generated on the chart. When the fast-moving average crosses above the slow-moving average and the filter is enabled, the indicator checks whether the MACD value has also crossed above the MACD signal line or not. If it has crossed above, confirmation is given, and the signal is generated on the chart. Similarly, for a sell signal, when the fast-moving average crosses below the slow-moving average, the process is exactly the same. The indicator checks whether the MACD values have crossed below the MACD signal line or not. When the crossover has occurred, a signal is generated on the chart. There is also another scenario. And if the MACD values and the MACD line cross above the MACD signal line, a buy signal is generated. And when the MACD crosses below the signal line, a sell signal is generated on the chart. We can also use this part as a filter. That is, when a sell signal is generated based on the MACD, we use the moving average as a filter in such a way that when the MACD line crosses above the signal line and when a buy signal is about to be generated, the indicator, it checks whether the fast-moving average has crossed above the slow-moving average or not. When the crossover has occurred and both crossovers are present, the trade is executed. And the buy or sell signal is displayed based on the two crossovers, which determines how it is applied. The crossover sell works the same way, meaning the MACD values cross below the MACD signal line, and after that, the indicator checks the moving average. It checks whether the fast-moving average has crossed below the slow-moving average or not. And if the crossover has occurred, a signal is generated on the chart. You must pay very close attention to this crucial point. You can consistently get the absolute best signal performance and achieve the highest possible returns from these valuable signals precisely when you carefully enter a trade, ensuring optimal timing and execution. in the direction of the trend at the time the signal is generated. Or if the price approaches a support or resistance zone and then a signal is generated. Here we can see that the price is in an uptrend, and after the signal was generated, the price moved upward. Again, in this section, a signal was generated in the direction of the trend, and we can see that the price moved upward. And in the same way, we see that this has happened multiple times here, or in this section, there is also a resistance zone. And with the price dropping and pulling back to this zone, we can see here that a sell signal was generated, which we could have used. In this section, we could have entered the sell trade, and we can see that the price has entered the downtrend. Also, in this section, there's another example where there was a zone here. And as the price moved in this direction, we see that it hit a support zone, and after that, the price moved sharply upward. And in this candle, a simple signal was generated, so here we could have entered the trade. And as we can see, the price made a sharp move up to this point. In the settings section, under inputs, there are options available for us. In the first input, we can set the method. We can configure the calculation method for the fast-moving average with 4 modes available here: simple, exponential, smoothed, and linear weighted. In the next input, we can set the period for calculating the moving average. We can set the period, which by default is set to 5, and the more we increase this value, the signals generated on the chart become more reliable. However, we must keep in mind that fewer signals will be displayed on the chart. In the next option, we can set the calculation type for the fast-moving average. By default, it is set to the closing price, but we can choose from options like closing price, opening price, highest price, lowest price, and other available choices here. In the next option, you can set the method for the slow-moving average, which is set to exponential by default. And here, we can choose from simple, exponential, smoothed, and linear weighted options. In the next section, we can set the calculation period for the slow-moving average, which is set to 20 by default. In the following option, you can choose the calculation type for the slow-moving average. You can select the calculation type from close price, open price, high price, low price, and other available options here. In the next section, we can enable or disable the use of the MACD oscillator filter. Here you can turn it on or off, and by default, it is enabled. We can set this option to false, and if this option is set to false, only the moving average crossover signal will be considered, and it will only take into account when the fast-moving average crosses over the slow-moving average. Signals will be generated on the chart, and if this option is set to true, we can also use the MACD oscillator. Here we can select the calculation period for the fast-moving average of the MACD, which by default is set to the standard MACD settings. The fast period is 12, the slow period is 26, and the MACD signal line is set to 9. We can change these values as needed. In the next section, we can determine the calculation type for the MACD. You can choose from options such as close price, open price, high price, low price, and so on. The rest of the options are available here. In the following section, we can set the alert status for when the candle is still open and hasn't closed yet. Signals can be generated either while the candle is still open or only after it has closed. By default, this option is set to false. This means that signals are only generated once the candle has closed, but if we set this option to true, signals will be displayed on the chart even while the candle is still open and active. In the next option, we can enable or disable pop-up alerts. In this next section, we can enable or disable email alerts, and if we set this option to true, we need to have completed the email settings in the Tools section under Options. In the next option, we can enable or disable sound alerts. And in the following two options, we can set the sound file for when a buy signal is triggered and set the sound alert file for the sell signal here. Alright friends, we've reached the end of this indicator tutorial. We'd be happy if you share your comments and suggestions with us in the comment section.